me clear my
What's up, Wizards? Dev from SPMTG here with my buddy Tony, as usual, for the set reviews. Yesterday we did gold, that means today is green. We're going in reverse order for your benefit, because we love you guys. So yeah, I think we can probably just go ahead and dive the in right now. Our first card is Aire Bowmasters, sort of the limited bread and butter, I'd say. Green has a lot of that, by the way. Green's a really good sealed color in this set. I'll go ahead and kick it off by saying that. Green is strong in limited.
Yeah, standard we get a couple of nice things, but
not as much.
But we'll get there.
Yeah, there's a few cards for standard, but you know, as usual in green, not much. Green bomb. Anyway, I don't. If you can't tell, I'm not like the biggest fan of green. I think I've said that a couple of times before, but green in limited looks very strong. This card, I think, you will probably play it. Yeah, especially, I'm not a huge fan of Megamorph either, but when you Megamorph it, it can take out the 4 power, or yeah, the 4 toughness dragons. There's a lot of those running around. There's a lot of them about. So, even in its 3/4 sort of base form, I think this is relevant. Definitely. Okay. But, that's all. That's all we have to say about that one. No standards.
Coming up, we got Enoch Artillerist for 3 mana, 4/1 power. Yeah.
Speaking of limited.
Yeah.
You know.
Very limited play here. It's going to trade up with the bigger guys. At the same time, it does have the added benefit of having reach as long as you have a +1/+1 counter on it.
There's a lot of ways to do that too.
Yeah, there's plenty of bolster and stuff like that. Yeah. So, you know, in limited, you'll be fine with him. He's probably not going to see any standard play.
Not at all.
And
this is a bulk card. But yeah. I like that. I mean, these are the first 2 cards we see are commons, and they're both very limited playable. So
I will say this: I love the flavor of it. He's kind of meant to help you take out your dragons, and
that's what that giant crossbow thing is for.
Yeah,
sweet art. He's just like
sweet art, good flavor text. I like it.
Yeah, I like it for limited all day. Take out the bigger dragons, but you know. Limited. Our next card is Enoch Survivalist. Some would argue that this is slightly pushed, but you know, we have better stuff. The thing that for 3 mana takes out an artifact or enchantment when it enters the battlefield, it's way better already.
Yeah.
But you know, this card has all the limited applications. That's kind of cool.
Oh yeah. I would say this is actually really pushed for limited crowd because they're still going to be able to get value out of this, and artifacts and enchantments play a bigger role in limited. We do have plenty of
especially enchantments.
Yeah, like we have plenty of enchantments you can do in standard. For instance, like Courser of Crucifix, and there's been the blue and black ones, the Monastery Siege. And,
oh yeah, the sieges. Well, the red siege is really important to red right now, actually. Outpost Siege, very important card. Whip of Erebos is still a thing, like you said, Courser of Crucifix. We think Myth Realized might be a thing, you know. And in limited, I will say this about this card. In limited, we have this set of, I think they're called monuments, the things that either produce mana or they become 4/4 flyers. And so this can take those out. You know, there's a reason this is uncommon, and it's a bear. On top of that, 2 mana, 2 power. You know, you play this guy.
Yeah. Moving right along though, we've got
first super exciting card of the thing.
We've got Assault Formation.
Woo!
For 2 mana and a crazy awesome effect. It's a good thing that it's rare. You don't want to see too many of them coming around. And this is probably
take everyone that's passed to me though. I want to build the Assault Formation deck in limited.
Oh
yeah, like in draft.
In standard applications, this comes to Courser of Crucifix and Sylvan Caryatid.
Maybe, yeah. Well, yeah, and Caryatid can just attack as a 3/3. You know, that's cool. Your Caryatid's online now. A Jutai, what is it? Order of a Jutai? It's a, it's the Angelic Wall. You know, it's 1 and a white for 0/4 flying when it comes into play. Draw a card. If you reveal or control a dragon, that becomes a 4/4 flyer for 2. That's good. Archer's Parapet, I think it was called in Khans of Tarkir. That becomes a 2 mana 5/5. Yeah, I mean this. You know, I don't really know about the standards, but at the same time, you know, this card gives a lot of other cards like insane value, and it's going to see play in Commander, and casual players have been waiting for this for 20 some odd years. I love that it counts on the toughness of creatures, and it's got ass right there in the title, like Assault Formation, toughness guys. So we call toughness ass around here. I'd say that's enough. We are sufficiently excited for Assault Formation, though, I would say. Sufficient excitement deployed. We can move on to the next card.
Yeah.
This next guy is a Tarka Beastbreaker. Yeah, names in this set. But honestly, for the same reasons we told you about a couple of guys ago, this guy is fine. He's a bear, a 2-mana 2/2 that adds value. You know,
Yeah.
I think that his formidable ability costs so much mana. You know,
Yeah.
but he makes him a 6/6.
Yeah.
That's good. It's more than fine.
Yeah.
So he only counts 2 towards his own formidable, but in the formidable deck, like if you're building that, I don't know why you would, but if you're building that, then this slots in nicely in the 2
Oh,
slot.
you know why you're building that. We'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah, there's a few formidable things. So rock.
Moving on though, we've got Avatar of the Resolute.
Cool card.
And we totally love this guy.
Yeah, cool card.
For 2 green mana, he's a 3/2 with reach and trample. That's already pretty nice by itself.
Good. Strictly better than Garrick's Companion, which is just a 2-mana 3/2, and people just like that thing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, instantly better.
Yeah, you
Plus
instantly
gravy.
get reach and trample, and then you get a little gravy.
This is obviously for a certain deck. We have cards for it in this set.
Yeah.
Scout, we'll get to it a little bit later. It's Scout of something or other. He's just a 1-mana 1/1.
Yeah.
But the
No,
1/1
he's-
is a counter. He's a 1-mana 0/0. But he gets a +1/+1 counter when he comes into play. When he leaves play, you move that counter to something else. So that's your 1-drop. This is your 2-drop. You now have a 4/3 on the second turn. So that's more than good. Yeah. Also in Modern, this goes into anything that has Experiment 1. Because you can stack the trigger, you know. The Experiment 1 first turn, second turn this, Experiment 1 gets the counter, and then this trigger. So, yeah.
That's
Thoughts on Avatar.
Yeah.
So, and he works with lots of stuff. He works with Dagatar the Adamant in Standard. We actually covered this in the spoiler video, and I hit like 15 different cards this thing works with. So, yeah. Fine card. Dramoka's Command. The +1/+1 counter. But
Yeah, we'll have a link to that spoiler video in the description. if you wanna
here.
see
Check that one
those.
out. The gold set review is all the bomb cards in the set, so we were really happy to make that one. We're excited for that. Here's a card I am in no way impressed with. I think it's supposed to look impressive. This is impressive. This is Circle of Elders. Circle of Elders does nothing. Tony and I went through a turn count, like first turn you Elvish Mystic or a guy with 2 power, and then second turn you play Voyaging Satyr or like Radiclaw Mystic, and then third turn you do this, and like we just can't find a way to make this work. Like we wanted to play Ugin by the 4th turn, and like there's just no reliable way. I mean, the mana this card gets you is cool because everything in the set, as we've discussed, costs 12 mana.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it at all. I'm really not a fan. In Limited, you play it. Guess what? It's 2/4 for 4 mana.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's
and it's got vigilance. So you can
Pillarfield Ox
attack
with
and block.
vigilance. Yeah.
Like,
But I don't know how much I actually care about the formidable ability. I think I probably should more.
yeah.
But I haven't found any way to make it work that like I like at all. Just rather play little mana guys. You know?
Fair enough. Moving right along though, we've got Collected Company.
Oh my goodness.
I'm actually all over this card. I kind of like this.
I kind of like
a
this
lot.
all day. Yeah.
Uh,
I don't care if that makes us casual. I know there's a big debate right now about Collected Company. Is it good or not? You know, I think it's quite good. We play tested with it a bit. You know, it's in the teamer thing, and it does the work. It does all the works.
yeah, it's what you want for a green deck all day, or any type of fast-paced green
Yeah.
based sort of deck. Like I'm thinking about doing a Naya Tokens thing.
Tokens.
And part of that is Rabble Master and Monastery Mentor, and both of those are 3 costs.
Free, boom, boom, right into play.
Yeah,
you
not
know,
only that,
or
but
anything under that. Secret of the Way, Soulfire Grandmaster. You know, there's the Monastery Swiss Spears, all kinds of stuff.
On top of that, there's also like Sylvan Caryatids and Rattleclaw Mystics, and
Mystics,
Courser
Voyaging
Crufix.
Satyr. Courser of Crufix is the obvious one.
Yeah.
Courser of Crufix is the one that, this is for Courser of Crufix.
Yeah.
But it's also for, you know, Savage Knuckleblade, Mantis Rider. There's just all kinds of stuff.
Yeah,
that
there's
hits.
so many applications for this. It's
Yeah, I
really
like
good.
it. And that's just standard. I mean, we're not even talking about modern. I think in modern this is neat too. You know, Snapcaster Mage, Tarmogoyf, Kitchen Finks. There's lots of really cool stuff in modern even too. You know,
Geist of
Pestermites,
Saint Trapt.
Geist of Saint Trapt is a cool one too. Yeah. I mean, there's this card is relevant. It's instant speed. I mean, if it wasn't instant speed, no one would at all care. But
Yeah.
this is, I think, really good. It's got a lot of flex to it. You can play it combat step or the end of their turn. Doesn't really matter. This card is good. So stop the hating, because this card is good, guys.
It's Green's version of Dig Through Time, and you're going to use it and love it.
Right, that's what I said in my spoiler video. I was like, I think this is Green Dig Through Time. You know, it's close to 7 cards. You get 2 things off of it, and it's instant speed. It's castable. You know, a lot of times you cast Dig Through Time for 3 or 4. So it's around the same mana cost, realistically, as a Dig. It's a good card. But we can move on. Here's a card. We will talk as little about this card as we talked about, as we did talk about a collected company. This is, what's his stupid name? This is Colossadon Yearling, and the most redeeming factor is his flavor text. Actually, I take that in jest. This card is good. We always talk about how Pillarfield Ox is fine as a 22nd or 23rd card, and this is strictly better. This is a 3-mana Pillarfield Ox. So we always talk about how bears are good at 2 mana. So that extra toughness is really good for 3 mana. It blocks all the morphs, blocks all the manifests. So
indeed,
yeah,
he's fine.
I do like him.
Moving right along though.
Yeah, that's all we need to say.
Yeah, Confiner Strider. For
Conifer.
Conifer.
Conifer, like the tree.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, because he's a big old tree guy.
Oh, duh.
Yeah.
For 4 mana for a 5/1, not my favorite thing. However, he does have hexproof.
Hexproof.
And like we mentioned before, there's some bolster stuff in this set. As well as in Fate Reforged, which you get a pack of in your pre-release.
Yep.
So this guy's going to be a great limited guy all day because you're going to be a straight target for bolster.
Seriously, best bolster target in limited right now. Yeah. Almost guaranteed. I mean,
he's got protection. He's going to get bigger.
And he'll just sit back and hang out, and until he's ready to block. He'll almost always trade up.
Yeah.
So I like this guy more than I liked him the first time I read him. You know, it took me a couple times till I was like, oh, okay, this is what this guy does in limited, but strictly limited. Yeah.
Moving right along, we got one of Devin's favorite cards.
You know, I gave this guy a 7 in my spoiler review.
What?
I would probably... Wait, what?
I thought you liked him more than that.
What, this guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, well, 7, you have to understand, 7 is a high score for me because I hate cards. I hate Magic cards.
This is true.
So, and by the way, I hate they changed the name. When this first was spoiled, it was Shakiri Raptor. I was like, oh, Shakira's Raptor. That's the best thing ever. Now it's, what is it, Death Mist Raptor, which reminds me of Tajiri, the wrestler. He would spray poison mist at people, and that's pretty cool. But, yeah, 3 mana, 3 power, 3 toughness, Death Touch, can recur itself. It does lots of things, and Megamorphs. So, probably a little more... relevant than I gave it credit for at first, but still not all the relevance, you know. We might see the Megamorph deck be a thing, or we might totally not, you know. It's probably a mid-tier deck at this point, but at the same time, it could slot into, I mean, everything's heavy green, and this is worth 2 devotion, so we may see this in the mono green devotion deck, or in the green splash something else devotion, but I don't know if it just slots right in. I mean, it's a pretty tight deck list for the most part.
Yeah.
Well, how do you feel about it?
I mean, it's 3 mana, 3/3 Death Touch. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, it seems good.
Yeah, it seems good.
But it does recur itself, and it's anti-removal. So I don't want to talk too much about it because it's not like super great or anything. We just think that it may see standard play, but it's not like freaking incredible or anything. It's no Sarkin. It's no this next guy.
Yeah, this next guy is really pushed. This is Den Protector.
Dr. Pepper.
Dr. Pepper.
This guy is just in the mid-range deck.
Yeah.
The mid-range deck that runs green and wants to sort of generate advantage. This is pseudo-advantage. It's value. That's the actual term for this.
Yeah. Being able to get a card back from your hand, as well as not being blocked by the 1-power guys. Not bad. Yeah. Which means it gets around Sylvan Caryatid.
Yeah, that's the first thing people point out, and they're right to do that. This gets around Sylvan Caryatid, and that's extraordinarily important in this format. So it gets around a lot of it gets around tokens. It gets around like a lot of the guys that Weenie's running, you know, any of the aggro decks. Yeah. So this is good just for that one ability. But when I first read it, the first thing I thought was like, oh, this is not Eternal Witness. It wants to be Eternal Witness, but it's not. I have been testing it. This card is more than fine. This card has done lots of good stuff for me, and I only run 1 copy. I just wanted to see how it worked when I do draw it. Yeah. But I have warmed up a little bit on this card. I think it's better than I originally rated it, I don't think it's going to shift standard or anything, but I think it will see a lot of play. Let me just say that. This will see a decent amount of play in standard. Den Protector's good.
Moving on, we've got one of the 2-mana removal cycle spells here, and...
Display of Dominance is more than fine. This busts up a bunch of planeswalkers, which is what it really needs to do, honestly. This both saves your guys from murderous cuts and heroes downfalls and such, and it destroys Ashiok and Kiora. Many things Sarkin.
It also stops Rune Snag and Reality Shift.
Yeah, those are important. It kills Narset.
Yep.
So, Sarkin's a big one too.
Sarkin, Ashiok, Kiora, and...
Was there something else? There's other. I mean, Liliana Jays. You know?
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm sure there's other stuff. There's got to be. But for what it is, this is a fine sideboard card. You know, just like all the other color hosing cycle removal cards, this is a fine sideboard card. It does a little bit more work for you, though. You know, in the form of sort of countering removal. Yeah. So, you know, I think this is fine against blue-black control. Oh yeah, more than fine. Moving on, we've got one of my favorite bears ever. This dude is badass. This is Dragon Scarred Bear. Dragon Scarred Bear is really cool for what he do. You know, 3 power for the 3 mana. You know,
all day. So it's basically the 3 mana bear syndrome. It's 3 mana for 3.
Yeah, instead of 2 for 2.
Yeah.
No. You'll play him in sealed.
Yeah,
you'll definitely play him in sealed.
He's actually not terrible. He's got 3 power towards his own formidable cost, which isn't.
I think that's where it starts being good.
Yeah.
The 3 power, you know, I think that's where I'm starting
yeah,
like this is okay.
Yeah,
you know.
3 to 4 power, I'm warming up to formidable.
Yeah.
And the fact that he has the regenerate effect makes him pretty nice.
Regenerate, you really can't underestimate how good Regenerate is in sealed environments. Regenerate is a very good ability, you folks watching. Regenerate's good. So you'll play this guy.
Moving right along, we got Dramoka's Gift for 5 mana for Bolster 4. That's a really expensive combat trick in green.
Yeah.
But we already did give you a perfect target for it earlier with...
5/1 hexproof guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Curves out, too.
Yeah, curves out that way. And that's that. It's a limited
more or less
thing.
You know, green gets more combat tricks in this set than it did in the previous 2 sets. This is not the best of them, but it's still a fine combat trick.
Yeah.
You know.
Coming up next, we got a green pseudo removal spell. It's 2 green mana at sorcery speed, and it's fight and +1/+2. Epic Confrontation.
Epic Confrontation. No, that's a good name. We finally get a good name in this set.
Yeah.
Epic Confrontation. The shore you can punch. He's punching a dragon's teeth out. That's Surik, by the way, because Surik is BA. And you need to know that, because he can just punch dragon's teeth out. This is Prey Upon, but like 1 mana more and 1 toughness, or well, a +1/+2 bonus better.
Yeah.
That extra bump in the toughness, it looks like kind of innocuous at first. It's really relevant. It's fantastically relevant in this set. Considering everything's so high power too, you know. So you will play Epic Confrontation in your sealed deck. That's the only straight up green removal card that we have, except for the 5 mana kill a flyer thing. But you know that won't see standard. Whereas in a certain kind of deck, this card can see standard play. Not that it will, but it can. It can. It has before. So moving right along, here's another neat card. This be Explosive Vegetation. I should remember the name because it's a reprint, and it's a cool reprint. I'll let Tony talk a little bit about this for a second, because you mentioned 4 and 5 color control.
Yes, I have mentioned 4 and 5 color control. This would probably be a 1 of at best in that. The reason for that is because it's just going to be that extra little push towards fixing our mana. We don't want to run too many sorceries in that, really.
Well, it's not a great top deck later on either. There's all kinds of reasons you don't want to run more than 2 copies, really.
Yeah. That's about all I can really say about it.
One more thing before we move on, I'm not going to take too long, is that I think I probably do play this in sealed.
Oh, all day.
Well, I've been wondering about it because you might want to play a 4-drop creature or something, you know, just something that gives you better board presence. This does give you better board presence, it ramps you, but, you know, with all the hugely costed stuff in this set, then this is more than relevant. You need 2 lands, that's a huge ramp, so.
Yeah, not only that, but green's a good color to pair now because of this.
Yeah, so, green's always been a good color to pair, you know.
Always been a good color to pair, and
it's a support color.
Yeah, and in this limited format, this is going to help it.
This is a Faux Razor Regent, and he's one of my favorite Regents, I think, if we're choosing.
Fair enough. I will say that he is in my top 3 Regents.
Here's my argument for Foe Razor, very quickly. Sometimes in the green devotion decks you see Arbor Colossus. Because he's a big creature, he's good for your devotion, he will bust a flyer when you monstrous him, you know. This kills a guy as soon as he comes into play.
Yeah.
And is less mana over time than Arbor Colossus, because you don't have to monster him. And he has evasion. So I think that you could totally make an argument for Foe Razor over Arbor Colossus, but I don't know how much play Arbor Colossus sees anymore. Sometimes you see him occasionally. But this is, I think, strictly better in a lot of ways.
I believe I saw him in a Teamer Ascendancy combo because you'll be able to play him and monsters in the same turn.
Same turn. Well, yeah, definitely.
But
he's just
aside from that, and even then, I think that was like a 1, maybe a 2 of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I all in all, even though I gave you my argument for him, I don't think either of us really see Foe Razor in Standard, or really any of the regions for that matter. They're just, only slightly underwhelming.
Moving right along though, we get Glade Watcher.
Yep, good card for Sealed. It's one of those.
Yeah, 2 mana, 3/3 Defender.
Goes in the Assault Formation deck. You know, it gives itself Undefender if you have the Formidable. But no, this does go in Sealed because it is a second turn play that kills morphs and manifests and all of that stuff. Really good early board clog. This card you will only crack in Sealed and maybe play as your 20th card, you know, in that range. And it'll do some work and you'll be like, hey, that card was a little better than I thought it was. That'll be the extent of it. So I think that we can move on. This card, yet another green card that's extremely relevant in the limited play. This is Guardian Shield Bearer. Okay, so another bear. This has a very decent Megamorph cost, sort of, and spreads +1/+1 counters around when you flip it up. Is that right? Yeah, exactly. So you get 2 +1/+1 counters, but you get to, one goes on him and one goes on another guy. Yeah. I think this is super bread and butter in limited.
Yeah, limited, I feel like this is just value butter.
Yeah, value butter. Yeah, the copyright. SBMTG, value butter. You have coined a phrase, sir. Yeah, no, this is in limited. This is definitely value butter. I'm gonna spread it all over my toast. Yeah. But probably again no standard play because there's probably not gonna be. This deck isn't gonna be a thing in standard. But in limited, you play this all day. It's gonna be the backbone of your green deck in limited.
Yeah, exactly.
I think we can move on.
Moving right along, we got Herd Chaser Dragon for the 6 mana uncommon dragon.
That cycle.
Yeah, the 3/3 flying trample and Megamorph for 7. Oh.
Yeah. Like I literally want to spend no time on these cards. Because there's a cycle, like you said. They all cost one colored mana, and 3/3s, and there's 7. These are all bad. I don't even really like these in Sealed. Much less this one. This has one of the least relevant Sealed abilities you could possibly have. There's one with First Strike. There's one with like Hexproof. This trample, it's a 3/3, maybe a 4/4. I hate this card.
The only thing I can say about this is...
There's a thing you can say about this?
Don't even bother playing this in limited.
I don't know.
I don't like this in limited at all.
No. You'll get better stuff.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it.
Moving on.
Yep. This is Inspiring Call. Inspiring Call is kind of neat. So like I said, green gets more combat tricks in this one, and this is a neat combat trick.
I like this combat trick because at least it gives you some card advantage.
Yeah.
Because of the way you're going to be playing it. It's based on limited play and the +1/+1 sort of deal. Draw a card for each creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it, and then those creatures gain indestructible until end of turn. Yeah, so protection until end of turn. So you're going to be able to like just swing in with everybody that you have +1/+1
block with
on,
those guys. I mean, there's a lot of play.
Yeah, anything.
If they have mass removal of some kind, like if they got Crux of Fate in their limited pools, and this works for that. So you can probably save at least a couple of guys. Yeah. There's a lot of ways to put counters on guys in green. So I think this is a fairly relevant card. Especially for as far as combat tricks in green goes, they don't usually get the best. So. But it got a couple this set.
Yeah, they got something that's relevant to what their set does.
But we can probably move on.
What their color does, maybe. Lurking.
Airrinks.
Airrinks?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how you English. Lurking Airrinks.
That's how you understand Magic. He's got 20 years of Magic, and I've got like
You get to understand
maybe
stupid names.
6 or 7.
By the way, I know there's probably some people watching this like, it's airings. It's airings. It actually is airings. But in any case, the name is about where the interesting stuff stops on this card.
Yeah, 5 mana, 3/5, and the 3 mana formidable.
Yeah, you get to lure something for 3 mana.
Oh.
Yeah, you get to do that more than once too, which I guess is fine.
Cool.
Lure is always a good ability in Seal because you get your bigger guys through and stuff, but I'm just not excited by it. That's the, I think that's the tone for green. I really should say this till the end of the video. That's the tone for green. I'll go ahead and say this. We'll probably say it again later. But the tone for green is that this is a very strong limited color, but it's not exciting. None of these cards are particularly exciting, but they're very strong cards in limited.
However, coming up, we have something that is slightly exciting.
Yeah, it's cool we got this back. Speaking of reprints, a few cards back.
Yeah, Naturalize. It's just 2 mana, destroy target artifact or enchantment at instant speed.
Yep.
Right now, there's plenty of enchantments going around.
Plenty.
Believe it or not, this is...
All the stuff we
Courser
named earlier.
Prefix is an enchantment, so
Yeah.
that really says kill their Courser in green.
Yep.
That's,
Well, Naturalize will see plenty of board play.
Oh, yeah.
It's cool that it's here.
Yeah, there's plenty of other uses for it, sure, but I really like kill their Courser
Ooh.
for 2 mana.
This card is next. Here's a cool card. This is Obscuring Aether. And this, or Aether, whatever you want to say, you can pronounce it both ways.
Yeah.
But in any case, Obscuring Aether is cool, quote unquote. I don't know if it's good, but it is a cool card all day.
The point we're going to say about this...
Yeah, let's make our big point.
Yeah, real quick. There's potential to see a green-blue or bug sort of morph-esque kind of deck, and this would pretty much be your 1-drop alongside probably Elvish Mystic.
Yep.
It's going to make your morph spells cost less so that you can actually play them on turn 2.
Yep.
Which technically with a ramp deck like that you could do anyways. But this makes them even better.
Yeah, I mean, you play this and Elvish Mystic, and then you play all your morphs on turn 2.
Yeah.
I was really disappointed with Carsey Deceiver in my spoilers, because for that reason, you play Carsey Deceiver second turn, so it doesn't actually accelerate your ability to play face-down creatures. This, in fact, does, if you play it on the first turn. But, you play 4 of Coppy in that deck, and I feel like this card is good in what it wants to do. It's obviously pushing the morph deck. But whether or not it's really a thing, I think if the morph deck is a thing, it's probably very lower mid-tier. Well, we could probably move on. Again, sufficient excitement deplored. We do like this card. For what it's worth, we think it's a little more than just strictly casual. Yeah, this is Pinion Feast. Pinion Feast continues the trend of very good in sealed play. This, obviously, I don't think we'll see any standard play, but this is super relevant in a set full of flying creatures. Every other creature in this set flies.
Yeah.
So, yeah, definitely good in sealed. I would main deck this in sealed all day. So,
it's going to bust up any dragon you come across. Not only that, there's so many other flyers.
There's other things.
It's very relevant.
No, this is the dragon killer right here. Use this card. Play this card.
And it's a common, so you can maybe get...
Holy crap, it's a common? I thought it was uncommon.
Nope, it is a freaking common.
Yeah, pick up like 2 of these and go to town. That's awesome. That's really cool. Alright, moving on. Ooh, here's a cool... Okay, we're talking about green gets good combat tricks. I really like this combat trick. Go ahead.
Press the advantage. We both really like this combat trick.
Yeah.
For 4 mana, instant speed, a little miniature overrun for you. You can pick 2 creatures and do +2/+2, and they gain trample. Except it's kind of a lot better than overrun.
In some ways, you could argue that.
Was a sorcery. This is an instant, so now we have a complete combat trick.
Yep, you can either do it on your combat or their combat, whatever. And on your combat, there's a lot of stuff you can do with this card. You can get a guy through for more damage and kill one of their guys. You can kill 2 guys, or you can just get through 4 extra damage. There's all kinds of stuff that you can do with this, Not only that, but since it gives them trample, you can kill one of their blockers and still get damage through. So... I do like this card. Some would argue that it's a bit expensive for a combat trick, and it's not like it's game ending or anything. Yeah. But it's enough of a surprise, and it's enough of a boost that this can swing a game for you pretty quickly, I think. Oh, yeah. So I like this card as a combat trick. Yep. Moving on, though, I think.
Right along, we get...
this is Revealing Wind. I'm not a huge fan, honestly. I just feel like it's really gimmicky. It's probably kind of relevant to look at face-down creatures and stuff, face-down cards, but I don't like Fog. I don't like Fog in Limited at all. or at all in any way do I like fog.
So.
And to add 2 mana to fog to you can look at your opponent's guys. I don't care. I don't care that much.
The only time I've liked fog is when it was fog.
Turbo fog, man.
Yeah.
You around for turbo fog in standard?
Yeah.
It was great. This card is terrible. Don't play this card.
Moving right along though, we got something nice for limited, something like okayly nice.
Oh, this is good for limited. The next 2 cards are very good for limited.
Salt Road Ambushers, 4 mana 3/3, which is okay for limited since he's got.
Hill Giants are good in limited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hill Giants are good. We've said it before.
Yep.
And he's got a little icing for more stuff.
He's got all the icing.
Yeah.
It's just like getting the piece of cake that has the rose on it, the icing rose. There's a lot of icing is all I'm trying to say.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Oh, it's 2+1/+1 counters.
Yeah,
okay.
it's not just the one.
Never mind. Complete limited.
Dos Canteros.
Good guy, actually. That's pretty great.
It's good. Considering, it's anytime you megamorph another guy too, or anytime you use any of these spells that put +1/+1 counters on stuff. So this is fine. And if you have this out and you play, the scout that gets a 1/1 counter or anything. This card is fine and limited. But moving on, let's talk about more Salt Road cards. That's a stupid name. Salt Road Quartermasters. Salt Road Quartermasters, I think, is hella bread and butter in limited. Speaking of those cards, if you can get these uncommons past you, I think that this is a really good draft deck that we're seeing in front of us here. If you can get the Avatar, if you can get these Salt Road cards, if you can get the Scout, there's a lot of stuff that if you can get it past to you, you can make a really good green +1/+1 counters deck. And this is definitely really good for that. Not only does he become bigger, but you can spread his counters around, and this card's good. I think this card's really good in limited.
All day.
Moving on. Least card that I am least impressed by in green in the entire set.
By all means.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that being said, I won't say anything about it. Yeah. What's his stupid name? It's a stupid name. Sandstep Scavenger. Yeah, Scavenger's dumb. I don't like paying the 5 mana for a 2/2. Don't get me wrong, he's a 5 mana 4/4 if nothing else bolsters,
Yeah.
But there's something about this card that I am in no way excited for, and I think it's stupid.
The most exciting thing about this card is the artwork, because they've got a cute little fox head dragging
a big old dragon leg, they had to make the art good because it's not an inspiring card at all.
Moving on, we've got something that is a fine card.
This card's more than fine.
Yeah, Scale Guard Sentinels for double green 2/3. Hey.
Yep.
We get a 2 mana bear, and it's actually got a bigger ass on it, so it can block and stay around.
We talk about how 3 mana 2/3s are good in limited. Well, this is a 2 mana 2/3. No matter what you do, you don't have to reveal a dragon. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And if you get the 3/4, that is hella gravy. That is Thanksgiving turkey gravy. So I like this card almost no matter what. Standard play, I'm not too 100% sure about. As far as standard play goes,
it just depends on the dragons.
On what we do, But as far as in green, I don't think that's as important for green as it is for something like Silumgar's Scorn. Silumgar's Scorn is just a better card if we're looking at the reveal a dragon cards, but this is still relevant. So, moving on. You can take this guy.
Segmented Crotic?
Crotic. Yeah, I think it's Crotic. That's one I do not know. It's either Crotic or Crotic.
Let's see. 6 mana, 6/5, and he's got Megamorph.
Yeah.
Fine, limited big guy. We needed to have one.
This is Green's
and this is it.
Fat guy. This is Green's Notorious BIG. This set,
He's a big guy.
Claws up the ground.
You'll probably be able to get 2 of them. And,
What Tony was saying earlier, just he almost fulfills Formidable by himself.
Yeah.
He
Especially
makes him...
if you, pull off the Megamorph thing, then because he's a 7/6.
It's like right there.
Yeah, you're 1 power away from it.
If you have a Formidable creature, then he is now formidable. But this guy's good. This guy's definitely good. And I've been waiting to talk about him too. This is Servant of the Scale. Servant of the Scale is just a, 1 mana 1/1, but the 1 power toughness is a counter. And when he dies, he replaces his power toughness in the form of moving that counter to something else. I liked Doomed Traveler a lot. It's hard to say. I like Blues Traveler a lot. And this kind of reminds me of that card a little bit in some ways.
Traveler.
Yeah, I'm going to start calling Doomed Traveler Blues Traveler. Why has no one ever done that? But no, I like this. We talked earlier about how this is your 1-drop. And the second turn you drop Avatar the Resolute. And he's a 4/3. This card I think has some Standard applications.
Some potential.
Maybe. We'll see.
Somewhere.
But in sealed, it really gets your +1/+1 counter game started. You know, so you want to draft as many of these as you possibly can. This is a very good card in limited. I'm not even a huge fan of 1-drops in limited, but the fact that he replaces his power and fuels so much of the play between counters that we see, I like this guy a lot. Play this guy. Moving on.
We got Shaman of the Forgotten Ways. Well, Shaman of Forgotten Ways,
Right.
not the
Forgotten Ways.
Oh, God, this is one of the mythics that was spoiled early on. And
Yeah, he was pretty early spoiled.
And I really would love to see a combo with this, but I just can't figure one out.
Well, you know, we talked a little bit about this earlier.
Wipe their board off. Like, for one, like, his formidable cost at 11 is really high.
I don't even read that. I honestly do not even read that part of the card.
Yeah.
11 is ridiculous. Even for devotion, 11 can be slightly hard to hit, man. And like against control, obviously the dream is to nail this against blue-black control, and then just biorhythm them and they die. But you know, there's turns in between when you get to do that, and blue-black control is just gonna be like, oh, you activated the thing, I'm just gonna kill the guy. My murderous cut him. So I don't see the biorhythm ability being a thing at all. You know.
Yeah.
But what we did talk about earlier is that first turn you Elvish Mystic, and the second turn you play this guy. So third turn, if you play a land, you have 6 mana on the third turn.
To cast creature spells.
Yeah, like 6 mana third turn is no joke. That's really good. So, you know, he's definitely better than I originally gave him credit for, but once you really start thinking about him, he's fine, you know. He's more than fine. Even if you just play him third turn, you untap on the fourth turn, you've still got, you know, 6 mana, play stuff. Even if you miss your Elvish Mystic or whatever.
Yeah.
So this card is good. This card is good. You'll see play. This card's good.
Oh yeah.
Moving on to yet another combat trick in green. I'm not really sure how I feel about this though. This is Shape the Sands. Shape the Sands will block a dragon for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Block a dragon.
Maybe. I mean, it will block the dragon, but will you kill the dragon?
That's kind of the issue with this. It's only +0/+5, but it does get reach, so you can definitely block. But
you know, green's got a lot of ways to make its guys bigger. You know, green didn't get a whole lot of crazy dragons or anything, so green got ways to make its guys bigger to deal with the dragons.
Yeah.
So in a way, you can make an argument for this, but I just don't. As far as combat tricks, there's better stuff even in green. In this set, so I don't know. I don't like it that much.
So moving right along, we get Sheltered Aire.
Aire, man! It is Aire.
Aire.
It is Aire. I just love saying Aire.
We talked about this earlier, and I actually like this. I would probably actually put this in a 4 or 5 color control.
Yeah.
Because this is amazing fixing, and it allows for those double costs.
Yep. That's the thing, is you can splash double colored cards a little easier. And people laughed at Verdant Haven when it came out a few years ago, and it was the same card, you know. It was like 3 mana, enchant a land, and it's like when it comes into play you gain 2 or you draw a card. I think it was you draw a card. And the land taps for an extra mana of any color. Yeah. So this is a very similar card, and Verdant Haven saw a lot of play. More than anyone ever thought it would. So I don't count this out at all. At all. And in sealed, I think you play it.
This actual pre-release format is not going to have too much fixing.
Yeah.
So you probably...
You get your monuments, you know. That's about it.
Yeah, but there are only 2 color fixings. So you
There's like no lands in this set, man. You know? So you're in trouble there. We can move on to the next card. This is one of my least favorite cards in green. This is Sight of the Scale Lords, and it wins more. It strictly wins more. In limited, the dream is to use this to bust up board stalls and such.
Yeah,
but
so it'll be a sideboard card in limited.
Yeah, you might side this in your pre-release, but I don't like it.
Probably for some form of a mirror matchup where you gotta bust up the sideboard, bust up the stallmate that you're in, which, coincidentally enough, if you both happen to have it, could end up resulting in both of you playing it, and that could be hilarious.
But all in all, it's junk.
Yeah, not very impressive.
I really don't like this card, if you can't tell. So we can move on.
Stampeding Elkherd at 5 mana, 5/5.
I'm fair.
Done.
Yeah, I'm good with this. 5 mana, 5/5. The formidable is relevant. This breaks up stalemates.
Yeah.
This you know, this is what I want. I want trample. Once you have a bunch of guys, is actually pretty good.
This is a conditional overrun on a stick.
Yeah, you know, I wanted to give everybody the bonus too, you know, but
I know it
everyone
doesn't
trample is good.
But yeah,
5 mana 5/5. Tony, oh, we could have left it at that. Tony said it right. 5 mana 5/5. You'll probably play this in Seal, definitely.
Yeah.
Next up,
he's 5 towards his own formidable though. That's important.
Next up is Sunbringer's Touch. I am, again, in no way impressed by this card. Talking about wanting to be a new overrun and does not in any way, does not fit the bill. Only one creature gets the bolster target. I don't know. I'm not impressed in any way. It's a sorcery speed card. There's just no reason.
It's based on how many cards you have in your hand, and in green there isn't really a lot of card draw.
He's more or less right about that. I mean, in sealed you'll have cards in your hand. You know, you might be able to bolster 3 or 4. But I don't like this card. I think it tastes bad. So, it tastes bad in my mouth. Moving on. Oh, can I do this guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is my favorite green card. This is Surak the Hunt Caller. You saw him a few cards back. He's punching that dragon's teeth out because he's awesome. This Surak, and he proves to be awesome. This is a 4 mana, 5 power guy, so you play him for that. And it's formidable. Always do that. His formidable is very relevant. Almost anything you play after you play Sarkin or Surak is going to enable his formidable. He's 5 towards his own formidable, just like that last card. And yeah, I think that he does all the things, you know, in a format full of huge dragons and stuff. Giving any of those dragons that you might play haste is so relevant. It's so huge.
And I know there's a lot of strong points for the actual card. I just want to point out the actual flavor to this because I just got done reading the flavor text. The flavor text is actually, the greatest honor is to feed a Tarka.
Chilling flavor text.
Like, since he gives
that's how the time
shift
shift has affected things.
Caller, oh, they just...
I look at it from a lore perspective. I'm not going to spend too long on the lore thing, but some people do really like lore. But that is the most chilling piece of flavor text in the set for us knowing how the time shift affected things. You know, that Surak serves a Tarka now, basically, and that's insane, man. But that doesn't stop him from being a badass. Surak is really cool, and I think he will see play in Standard, so guaranteed. But moving on.
We've got Tread Upon.
Like it.
The best combat trick that we've had so far.
In green, yeah. I do like the 2 guys get +2/+2, but for the cost, this is the one you want. I think you play this. Yeah. If you can afford 1 combat trick, you know, if you've got the card slots for 1 combat trick in your limited pool, this is the one I'd want to use. Oh yeah, and it is a common, so you might potentially get 2. Yeah. So that's a good way to have a significant combat trick. Yeah. It's 2 mana for +2/+2 and trample. It's good. At instant speed. Again, in a set full of big guys, +2/+2 is very good. So that is a fantastic combat trick. And that totally finishes out our green set review. That's actually great. I love that. We finished on a great combat trick for green. We finished on a good note. Yeah, because green never gets the good combat tricks anymore. It's like the beginning of Magic, they were like, okay, green, you get giant growth. This is part of your color pie, and you're going to be enjoying this forever. And then they took it away. So, I mean, green doesn't usually, white gets all the good combat tricks, and sometimes red, you know. But green got a couple of really good combat tricks this set. And maybe 3 or 4 cards that are relevant in Standard, and then a bunch of just limited salt. You know, very, very good stuff to spice up your limited deck. I think that green stands alone very well in limited in this set. Not to say you're going to build mono green, but green does just stand on its own very well. Yeah, it can actually definitely stand on its own very well. It's got plenty of creatures that are actually on a good curve that are going to give you a nice full board state. And in limited, that's actually really amazing. That is. You know, they compensated green. I touched on this earlier, but green has easily the most aggressively costed sort of CMC to power ratios. You know, almost everything in green, if you'll notice, we had the 5 mana 5/5, the 3 mana 3/2. We have a 2 mana 3/2. We have a bunch of bears. We have like 4 different bears. So almost everything is the same casting cost as its power. Yeah. And that is very, very good, I would say. And we've got a lot of 3 mana creatures that are the same way, 3 mana 3 power. So that was sort of, I think, a benchmark for green while they were designing this set. And I think it's going to help green out a lot in combating all the dragons. Although, you'll pair this with another color. I'm not sure what the paired color is yet. but you'll
You've
pair
got
this
some
with
options.
something else. There are options. White and red are both pretty good options in this set to pair green with.
The big common
Which
idea
makes sense. This is an allied color themed set, so they probably want you to pair allied colors together in your limited pools.
Which
but
is
yeah,
why we have those allied dragons.
yeah, man. Seriously, those allied dragons in limited are going to be insane. Like people, I think are misjudging this limited environment. You know, there's going to be
It's gonna be so much fun.
there's
I
going to
can't
be
wait.
insane cards everywhere. Seriously.
all over the tables.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to play, every time you play your 4/4 flying dragon in limited, you're like, I'm going to win the game. And it's not a guarantee now, because they're just going to play their 5/5 flying dragon next turn. So
Yeah.
it just doesn't matter. But I think green has a lot to combat that. In designing green for this set, they knew that they were going to have to kind of give it a leg up on all the dragon creatures, all the flying, all the huge guys. And I think they hit the mark pretty well as far as design goes. So those are our impressions of green, I would say. You got anything to add? You got any more impressions of green before we close it out?
Nah, I'm sure we pretty much said everything we got
Yeah,
to say.
sealed color, not much else. Well, that pretty much wraps it up. Join us tomorrow. What are we doing tomorrow? Red?
Yes, tomorrow we'll be doing red.
Yeah.
And also, tomorrow we're going to try and have 2 more videos.
Yeah, we're going to try and do Proxy Wars tomorrow. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm gonna have your deck tech up for that by then, hopefully.
Yep.
And on top of that, we'll be working on shooting the next set review, as well as the Proxy War episode. And then moving right along, Monday you'll get both of those.
Yeah, we got a busy week ahead of us. So support us by subscribing. Commenting helps us a lot, so does sharing. Let us know if you think that we're total nincompoops and don't know what the heck we're talking about. Because I like healthy debate. I don't mind at all. I am Dev from SVMTG, and this guy is who?
I'm Tony.
Yep. And we'll see you guys next time. We're doing Red tomorrow plus Proxy Wars. It's going to be super awesome. Yeah. Let us know in the comments, what do you guys think is going to win Proxy Wars? Tomorrow we're going to do Teamer Midrange with Sarkin Unbroken versus Mono Blue Devotion in Dragons of Tarkir Standard. So, let us know what you think's going to happen with that. And we'll see you guys next time, man. Thanks for watching.